So I bought a booster pump for my Mister system, the Orbit, but one of the problems after I got it out of the box was this connection was hanging out. It was all the way out, and I was hoping it was nothing serious. So I had taken it apart, and this nut that sits right down in here was off, but luckily I got it back around and around and got it tightened in there, so now this fitting isn't hanging out. I'm not too afraid of it. All I did was, you can see the 3 screws in there, but you can turn it over and there's basically 3 screw holes there, and I just took those screws out with a Phillips screwdriver and tighten those up, and now I'll be putting it back together and see how it works. Well, I'll try and hook it up anyway. The instructions, 1 page, well, 2 page if you read Spanish. They're I don't even think adequate, personally. It does not show you how to connect the plumbing, the fittings. One of the things you should know is on these fittings, they usually, hopefully they come with these little red tabs. They pull them off, and this little bevel here will go in and out. That's to keep it from going in and out, because when you got to take the plug out, push in, got to push in on the ring, and then that plug comes out, and then your fitting or your hose pushes into that fitting, and then when you try to pull it, it should not come out, and then this little retainer ring, locking ring, needs to go back on that fitting, because if you push on that fitting, I'll pull that out, maybe. So if you push in on this outer fitting, then you can pull your tubing back out. So this is basically a little locking fitting so that your line will not come out of there. So I'm not sure if maybe a little more close up on this fitting. There's the locking ring, and this is the other little fitting I'm talking about. See how it comes in and out of there, and if you put the tubing in there, you can see how it'll try and come in and out. And if you don't have this ring in there to lock it from pushing in, when you push that in, then your tubing can come back out. So once you put that tubing in, so that you're not going to have a problem of it coming out, you need to put that locking ring back on. So the water pressure out of our house is around 60 psi. So what I have done is I had put in a water regulator for a motorhome that reduces the pressure to 40 psi. So I have put that in line to keep the water pressure at around 40 psi as required. So this is a temporary setup while I'm testing the pump and the pressure. I will keep an online RV water filter in place. They seem to be just as efficient as the expensive ones, and usually, like at Walmart, you can buy 2 of these water filters that will connect into your hose for about half of what you would buy a water filter for elsewhere. So I have the water on. We have water coming out of a short piece of hose that I had placed on the pump. I'm going to turn the pump on. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is on. But one thing you will notice is it does not seem like the water changes whether the pump's on or off. Okay, I've shut the water pump down. It's sitting in this spot right here. I'm turning the water pump back on. It is on, and it does not seem like it's increasing the flow. I've noticed this on other videos that I've seen for this pump. it does not seem like it's increasing the water flow. So I'll see what happens with the misters when they are hooked up. So I'm pretty well hooked up under here, the ins and the outs, got the little red tabs back on there so the lines won't blow out. So now we're going to check one of the sprayers. Okay, here's another try here. I was pushing the wrong button. Okay, so here's a mister that you can see pretty well because of the sunlight. And right now the pump is off. Now I'm going to turn the pump on. And you can see that it did make a pretty big difference in the misting. Pretty big. Again, here's two more over here. The pump is on. Now I'm going to turn the pump off. And you can see that the misters decrease pretty substantially. So I think the pump is going to work for me. Put it on. Let's give it a go. See how it works here.